just gonna play it, and it's gonna be all good. Like y'all know, basically the first three and a half minutes of the game is just the playable cutscene. And to be honest, I was like busy for already half an hour. Terrible runs going on. I was like, you know what, screw it. And I just closed my eyes and just did this all like blindly.
Long since erased from the records of time, there once existed two European clans who served as overseers of history for the powers that be. The Umbra Witches, dwellers of the darkness, and the Lumen Sages,
pretty much
controllers.
I played pretty insane.
The clans paid each other
at
great
least
respect, and their
in my
efforts
opinion.
to maintain the balance between them, defending.
But it went pretty okay. But like bosses at certain points just kind of screwed me over. You know what? I wasn't even mad, because I was super glad that I actually got. Yeah, this is the replay of the world record. Like it's already on my YouTube channel, but that one doesn't have any commentary over it. It's just the gameplay.
Resulting in an era of strife.
Like if you got any questions on how I do stuff, or if I don't explain any, there's something I didn't explain well enough, you can just ask me.
Ambush, assassination, and casualty.
Yeah. Like during these like three and a half minutes, I was just eyes closed, playing with one hand, and I was just going off of sound. So whenever an enemy tried to strike me, I just did a double jump.
Secretive dark witches. Years after the balance was lost, the war had ended in the Umbra Witches' favor.
So I don't know. Like I do want to discuss like the video, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna just throw this up on YouTube as well. It doesn't matter what. Nah, there's like a timer variable that can happen in Bayonetta 1 on PC, and usually when the game's been going on for longer,
Their victory,
like when it's been running for like an hour, maybe more,
the witches'
this cutscene actually takes
humans
longer.
began to condemn the remaining Umbra,
Like it actually plays out the whole cutscene,
rounding up the battle,
and then your timer's gonna end at like 3:15, 3:16. That's when this cutscene will end. But when you just boot it up right away and start playing, this cutscene will usually stop at around 3:12 or 3:13.
were extinguished from the earth. All but
Like you see, and I had the game running for like half an hour at this point. Yeah, it's really weird. That's like the only variable for PC that I've really seen, like on loading times, that is. And here we just go right off into the prologue. One of my, like, early game is always hard for me. I think I did this pretty well though. For someone playing for the first time. I mean, you'll see the entire cutscene, but usually the narrator cuts it off at like all but one, and you'll only hear like all or all but, and then it just start. Then you're already done. I don't know why it is, but like it's good for speedrunning. Right, this was like really not that great. My early game is always go to garbage, in my opinion. Like, no, I've been practicing it as well, but I just can't seem to get better at it. Or at least when I do an actual run, I just fumble it. Yeah, this is just basic. Slam him into the air and then ragdoll him. that seems to be working the fastest out of all the things I've tried. Like aerial PKP is also pretty alright, but it is a tad bit slower, but it's sort of safer because you don't have to you don't have to meddle with the manual targeting system. Yeah, 132, the time isn't even that bad, but preferably I'd get sub 130 on the first verse. And what I do here is, I usually do like the triple P, triple K combo, and I started holding it at the third P. That's where I start holding the buttons. Because you start shooting and you start getting an insane amount of magic. And yeah, this one was really good. Like 26 seconds. That was nice. Yeah, I was kind of feeling it right now.
I should have been a pole dancer.
Like I got a sub 2 minutes in game time and it was like, you know, this could be something. Although like I had that feeling before on a lot of runs. And then at either chapter 1 or chapter 2 it just dunked me into the water, so to speak. Also, like right here, you're gonna see one movement technique that's only gonna be used in this stage. I fumbled it up a little bit, but basically this is jump punch canceling, where you press A and Y at about the same time, and it makes you move a little bit faster over the floor. You gotta be, what is it? What's the word? You gotta make sure that you do it on like a straight floor, or on a floor that slopes upwards, because when you do it downwards, you start doing aerial combos, and that's not what you want to do. Like this verse, the same thing as in Prologue. Slam them down and you just try and kick them into each other, which works a lot better now because you have wicked weaves, so you start doing more damage as well. And preferably for that particular verse, you kind of want to have sub 10 seconds, but like I said, my early game it's not the best. And to be honest, like I'm pretty sure my early game on this one was pretty alright.
I've got a fever, and the only cure is more.
Like it was about the same as like IPB a day before that as well, but it was not what I wanted to have. So I redid it, and it got me the world record I have right now. Also, as you could like see a few seconds ago, I go from jump punch canceling into like the dodges forward. And that's on purpose because like that small particular part of floor slopes downward. So we grab a bullet here. This is basically for the angel attack, like after level. And I need 3 flutes. And this gives me better odds of getting it. Because each bullet you collect gives you 3 extra bullets in the minigame itself. Oh, right. This was where I kind of fumbled a little bit, because I thought this was still the same enemy, like from the first wave, but the new wave had already started. This is basically where you try and kill every enemy just as quick as possible, like, as always, but you gotta make sure the decorations, like the small heads that fly around, are at least at a decent, like, level to you, because if they're too high, the shots just won't reach them. And I've omitted, like, one certain strat I usually do on him, which is, like, spin around the mace, Like, I get close to him and usually spin the mace first, but like the hit stun makes him swing his axe slower. So what I just do is wait for the axe to swing, then do 2 aerial strikes with the mace, and then an aerial PKP. Which seems to be pretty quick. Like, just a tad bit faster than what I normally do. And then the next part is one of my least liked parts, mostly because it requires a lot of button mashing, and it hurts my arm a lot. Especially because there's quite a lot of it in the run. Also, the reason I go back a little bit is because you want to lure Fortitudo over a little bit, so you can dodge, like, closer to him. That you minimize the distance, and you can get off, like, a lot more shots to his face. Which does damage faster for some reason. And then here you do the same as you do with Fortitudo. And preferably you do not get witch time off like the side swipe he does over the bridge, because that'll activate witch time and it actually makes this verse a tad bit slower. Like about 5 seconds. So you just want complete his health bar without activating witch time. Which is also not the easiest thing to do. And then, like you just saw, you want to use the circular axe swing to do as much damage as possible. Otherwise, you have to run away from like the broken staircase, because if you fall off, you just die, and depending on like what time you want to get, your run is basically over. Or you might as well restart the run. Also, like, is the video quality decent? Like on stream? Feels okay-ish, I guess. But yeah. Yo, what's up, Mulisk? Thanks for coming. Video quality is good? That's good to hear. Also, this is one of the stages you do you actually play the Angel Attack minigame. Also, one thing about like the deer, like the one you get 10 points for when it flies around, if it is flying, like you see that one right now, the one all the way in the back, you see that one flying. You gotta aim a little. You make sure not to aim the reticle on him, but you gotta aim a little bit lower, otherwise you'll shoot over him. Also, yes, I run Bayonetta on PC. Like, that's one thing I often see people do. When that one deer is flying below, flying in the back, they aim the reticle on him, but that doesn't hit him for some reason. Why don't I use the mouse to aim? Because I'm absolutely garbage with the mouse aim. I'm actually worse with mouse aim than I am with controller aim. Also, this is Jeanne 1. Probably one of the worst fights in the game, because she can just dodge any of your moves whenever. Like when she feels like it. Like, the fastest time I've ever gotten on her was about 15 seconds, and I got really lucky on that. Usually if you get below half a minute, you're good. Also, that was like where you saw me just dodge away from the deers. That was like a tiny skip as well. Doesn't save much, but you know, every time save is a good time save. And one thing to note about Bayonetta is she has like a 5 dodge limit. And on her 5th dodge, she does an exhaust jump. But if you're in midair, like if you're high in midair, that doesn't matter as much because you can go straight into dodging again. You can never seem to do that trick to break out of the wall gravity. Oh, if the way you like drop out of wall gravity is you press the left stick on the controller. Also, what you see, one thing you see me do here is like kill everything with the angel bow, because the angel bow gives you mad points and just destroys nearly any small enemy in one hit. And I torture attack the second archer to also get a hold of his bow. And then the flute just kills all the rest of the enemies in the second wave. Or in the third wave. Very easily. Also, that is like a slight bug with the angel bow, by the way. Which is really, really weird. Because it's slightly bugged in that it sometimes only has 5 shots for some reason. Which is absolutely awful. But it, like, for sometimes it just consumes an extra shot, which usually happens on either the second shot, where it consumes another one, leaving only 3 shots left, or on the last one, where it just consumes the rest of the bar. And this part is flow. This verse is just entirely flowchart. I got hit here for some reason, which is bad, but I saved it. Yeah, like you use a magic flute to kill all of the wheels, all of the enchants. And then when the beloved comes around, you do a basic aerial PKP on him, which usually triggers the cutscene of the other beloved coming in. And then you just do your regular triple punch, triple kick combo to get rid of the one with the least health. Now, one thing I've also started doing is, instead of torturing the front applaud here, I've gone to the back one, because usually the applaud in the front will start doing like that attack you just saw, where it has like the small force field in front of him and just sort of kamikazes into you, or not kamikaze, but like crashes into you basically. Rush is the better word. And also, for some weird reason, usually Fortitudo here always gives me the pattern where he shoots a fireball at me after I use the stripper pole. Lately, he's just been mean to me, where he either bites me or just crashes his head into me. And this is another part of the run where you gotta button mash, because button mashing the bullet climax with the legs actually does more damage than any combo, apparently. I often throw out. So yeah, this also hurt my hands a lot. Like, it, just looking at this makes me weep for my hands, dude. Then I also managed to get like one of the best in-game times I've probably ever gotten on this stage. Usually I get slightly over 4 minutes, and this time I got sub 4. Now, and there, you see me skip all the angel attacks, and that's because there's only 2 angel attacks that I actually do over the course of this run. And the next one is gonna be in like 2 more stages. Now, the previous route that I used made me only buy 1 lollipop, but since I have the money, there is no reason to not buy an extra one, and the extra one is for Jeanne at a later point in run. And this is where I menu a little bit, get all my inventory right, put all the stuff on the right slots. Now you got this battle. Preferably what you want to do is basically the same thing I did at the start. Like, the best pattern you could do is kill the 2 at first, and then you kill the other ones in pairs of 3. Because there are a total of 12 angels that spawn, and the last 4 angels I just want to kill with a flute. preferably the last 4. Like, less is also possible, and I got stuck here on the street light. But yeah. Like, preferably you have 4 angels left to kill, and you kill those with... Also, for some reason, during this battle, he managed to dodge one of my shots while he was in witch time. Which basically just ruined my entire combo. And like, right before the Bayo starts to blow a kiss to the angel gate, I use a yellow lollipop so I don't have to worry about that later. But also so I can just move past the lava spout like slightly later on. And lollipops that have like timers on them are relatively broken on timers, in my opinion, because the small ones last you 15 seconds, and then the big ones last you a minute. This battle goes just pretty well. About how I expected it to go. Normally I would like the second fairness. I would like him a bit closer to me, but this worked as well. Now you got your obligatory campy cutscene. Which is fine. Just a little bit of mashing here. But this is one of those cutscenes that gives you a little reprieve from like the non-stop action that keeps going. And I just mashed the button because I really wanted those halos. Now here's even more like stiletto movement. That's like one of the techniques we bought because we also have the sword now. And from like the burning ground to the end of like not next chapter but the chapter after that, it's gonna be one of the most used movement options. Plus, the stiletto allows for a really neat skip right here over the lava, which saves about 40 seconds. Or was it 40 seconds? No, I don't know. I forgot how much time it saved. It was quite a bit of time. But you gotta make sure you do it right, otherwise you lose like 40 seconds. I think that was it. Oh, yo, welcome back, Samu. Yeah. So, like, the first 4 chapters were going pretty alright, in my opinion. I think I saved a small bit of time on this, but then the next chapter, which is a boss fight, in my opinion, the boss couldn't have done any better, I think. Like, it felt like the best he could ever do, but I believe I lost a little bit of time after this. Oh no, I lost a little bit, but it's fine. Now, this is Fortitudo, and you've seen him a few times already. What you do here is basically, you hope for the bite, because you can just bullet climax into his face, do a lot of damage and he'll fall down, and then you can repeat that when he's down on the floor. And then, like you just saw, I basically depleted his entire health bar in like 5 seconds. Or at least, well, not his entire health bar, but all the health that I can take. And this again is like a QTE. You don't have to mash at this one, but like if you want the halos, which I guess I really wanted, you can mash because it gives you like the max bonus for how much you mashed. Like it gives me like 1300 each time. Which is pretty nice though. But my hand, really, looking at this just hurts my hand. Also, right here, when he's gonna do the head smash, if you dodge it, you basically get a lot of free damage. But you gotta make sure that you still keep comboing him afterwards because he won't fall down by himself. Like, doing that particular thing, the bullet climax, during which time, doesn't actually knock him down. Also, the QTE isn't really any faster to mash super fast, no. There's only 2 QTEs, like 2 mashing QTEs in this game that are actually faster if you don't mash, and that's like the first one with Gamora in Chapter 1, and the one with Gamora in Chapter 2. Otherwise, Gamora starts biting the beloved faster and more times, which will lose you a bit of time. I can't believe my hand is actually starting to hurt from just seeing this. Let me put on my thumb brace, dude. Okay. And then over here, you usually open with punch, kick, punch. Well, you always open with punch, kick, punch because the sword has... Your Wicked Weave has an exceptionally long range for some reason. And after that, you just basically stiletto into him and then do the uppercut slash against him continuously. Because the uppercut slash with the sword is probably the single most devastating thing to bosses. Like, there's a thing called the Durga Kilgore exploit, and even that just doesn't do as much as this does. Does it actually? I haven't used it in so long. I think the damage is either negligible or about the same, so I don't use it anymore. At least I don't use it on the Kilgore. I rarely. There's only 2 bosses I use the Durga Kilgore exploit on in this run. And that's because everything else just does moderate damage against them. Now, this is probably one of the longer levels in the game. And it's a pretty difficult one as well. Because it has like a few... It has 1 skip. That is kinda hard sometimes. Yeah, I'll get into that in a bit. Preferably what I would like against these 2 guys in the opening is that they both die by the double combo with the sword, but sadly it doesn't always work. But 10 seconds is about the fastest you can get, like, for this fight. Like, you can do it in 5, but that's when you kill both of them with the sword. But when you kill something with the sword, or at least most enemies, they take a while to actually die. So you're still losing a little bit of time on that one. Also, this was probably one of the better fights I've ever had against Fairness and Fearless. As you can see my time for a short bit here, and it's about 31 seconds, and I'm pretty sure that is the fastest I've ever done. If I'm not mistaken, this whole entire chapter This is the best I've ever done. That I've ever done this chapter on a new game. One thing to note about, like, that particular gate where you jump through, if you don't jump through it correctly, and don't get, like, the gravity to work the right way, you'll actually just fall down and respawn right before the gate. But you won't get this particular thing I'm doing now. And this is how I handle this fight. Yeah, you gotta be careful though, because Bayo actually prefers to kill the blue guy first, for some reason. Always. You will always try and kill the blue guy first, because of automatic aim. But what you want to do is leg sweep the red one and just go ham on him with the charge modifier. I did this exactly right, but for some reason, one of the Harmonies decided to not teleport towards me and just slowly get closer. I don't know why he did that, but it could have saved me like a few more seconds, but it's fine. There you got the win. Probably only the worst enemy in the game, because you can't actually hit it, ever, while it can hit you. Like, this is the same thing I want to happen as with the first Grace and Glory fight. Even though them dying takes a bit longer, like, just killing them with the claws completely is actually probably the fastest thing to do. That disc took really long to actually pop up on the screen. Yeah. Like, sometimes the fragments of the LPs take a while to actually, like, spawn. Like, to show themselves that you've collected them. So you gotta actually make sure that you got them, because, especially with this disc, if you don't get this disc, your run is over. Like, this is the single most important disc you're gonna use. Also, just another basic Grace and Glory fight. Like, these two don't spawn as close to each other as the first couple does, so just a regular triple punch, triple kick with charge modifiers is the best way to go about this. And this is where the inspired quick kill comes in. Like, you're gonna see me, like, first I walk the first bit, and then I start doing a lot of stiletto movement, because you want to get up to the top as fast as possible. Then you want to shoot this guy out of the air. Like, I was really sweating here, because I stopped my bullet climax a bit too soon. So I was thinking I might not be getting the quick kill, but luckily enough, I still managed to get it. So you hope Kilgore comes back in Bayo 3? I don't know, man. I'd like a new variety of weapons. Also, I just dropped by this shop real quick to get the Durga, because it helps immensely during the Jeanne fight. And I kinda fumbled climbing on top of this, but it's fine. Like, I did the climbing in, like, the ABKs, the afterburner kicks, and just the regular jumps. I just kinda switched them around accidentally. Also, like, you remember the two yellow lollipops I got, like, right before the birding ground? The other one we're gonna use right here for Jeanne, so we can just easily get off the Durga combos against her. And as you can see, the Durga and the explosives it lays down just do so much damage. Like, it took me, how many seconds? 11 seconds to get rid of Jeanne. And Jeanne, the best thing about it is, because I have a yellow lollipop, Jeanne can still block some of my hits, but she can't, like, sucker punch me. So I can just do my combos the way I want them, and not have to worry about getting punched in the face. And yeah, like 4:53 in-game time, I think that's the best I've ever done. And then this angel attack, again, I want to get at least 3 flutes. The best thing I could probably get from this is 4 flutes, so I don't have to collect one later on. But 3 flutes is more than fine. I was getting a little antsy here because I almost thought I wasn't gonna get the 90 points. But shoutouts to the deer, the back, for coming to my aid. This is another shopping trip. Like, with the unlocking of Panther mode, we also get 2 new other forms, which is Bat Within, which basically allows you to dodge a move as it hits you, and Crow Within, which allows you to turn into a crow and like fly a little bit, which is actually going to be used quite a bit in the run. Again, this is just the basic combat. Here you can also see the destructive power of Durga. Like, any small enemy just basically dies when it gets caught in the explosion, and any enemy that has a health bar just takes a lot of damage. And this is probably the first instance where we use the crow. Like, right here, we skip a whole fight here. We just, as a crow, fly towards like that little incline on the wall and do a ABK on that wall, so we can skip past an angel gate that's positioned there. Like, normally you're not supposed to be able to get around that, but I'm not entirely sure who found the skip. But it allows you to skip a fight with 2 dragons. Oh yeah, and here I was going a little bit too fast, and it activated the crow form. Also, one thing you probably always want to do is kill the red one of these duos first, because their claws are just so good. It can kill almost anything in a matter of seconds. Like, if I actually accidentally go after the blue guy, I will take time to go after the red guy. And then again, this is a fight where you have to protect Cereza, which is a little kid you find along the way, which is actually you from the past. But the funny thing is, they rarely actually go after Cereza. They all just swarm around you, and it allows for easy killings. Like, this verse is whatever. Few angels spawn, and you're supposed to, like, hold Cereza and then press X so she gets that barrier over her. But we just skip that entirely. Oh, no, wait. You're supposed to hit him with stuff from the actual world, like telephone poles or just beams. Like the same as we're doing with this guy. And there is a slight bit of RNG in here, because Cereza can choose to trip and lose you like 3 or 4 seconds a time. Each time she trips. Like she does right now, right in front of the gate. We could have made it, but she decided to just hang out in front of the gate for a second, just tease us like a mean little girl. And then, right here, we go into the gate. Normally you fight these guys, but you can just totally skip them. And as soon as you run here, meteors will spawn. And Fairness and Fearless will just die on their own for some reason. And this fight will continue really quickly. Well, not continue, but start. There we go. I don't know, for some reason he takes a real good liking to Cereza. But we ain't having that. What happened if you were just to abandon Cereza when she tripped? The funny thing, like, you asked me that, what would happen if you were to abandon Cereza, but she fell, like, you need to be, you are forced into a certain range of her. Like, had she gone a bit further forward, even if she had tripped, I could have broken the gate, went through, and then everything would be okay. She would, like, just spawn relatively close to me, probably. But that was, like, the one point I didn't want her to trip. Also, here we pop another lollipop, so we don't have to worry about hitting any of the laser beams. Yeah, there's sort of an invisible barrier around Cereza, and you're not allowed out of it. And here, the Bayonetta that stole Cereza was a joy all along. And then it, like, it dies in like 10 seconds. Like, we ain't having it. Also, one thing the Joy can do is split itself up into another Joy, and that the Joy she splits up in has another full health bar, so you kind of want to stop that from happening whenever. You hope Joy returns? Yeah, dude, and then we put her on the horse again. What do you call the horse Bayo uses as a torture attack, though? Like, I think that has a specific name, but I forgot the name. Also, this dingus opened with a punch, which is an automatic like 10-second time loss. So, right here, I'm basically already out 10 seconds. And this is, like, you heard me talking about the Durga Kilgore glitch. It doesn't only work on the Kilgore, it also works on the Onyx Roses. And as you can see, it allows for a lot of damage. And to be honest, I don't know if this actually does more than the Shuragas, but because of what I'm seeing here, it kind of doesn't really do that much less damage. It does about the same, but because you fire off an insane amount, the flurry of shots you fire with Exploit is just so insane that I'm pretty sure it deals a tad bit more damage. And here, okay, like, I'm gonna take a time loss right here, which I could have actually prevented if I had actually done the exploit right, but I fumbled, so I lost another like 15 seconds, which is too bad. Plus, I am noticing that I'm saying actually a whole lot. Also, what did I want to say? Like, you saw those 4 like new arrow thingies pop up. I just continued my combo because that was worth it to me. I took a little bit of damage, but it was fine. And because I destroyed like the shoulder, like the joint part, I didn't actually take knockback damage. Nor did I lose any magic. Or if I did, I only lost like 1 orb. Wiki just calls it a wooden horse. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if the torture attack you use on the Joys has a specific name. But wooden horse sounds about right. Also, I was relatively upset that Temperantia lost me quite a bit of time, so I was mashing my heart out. Like, he deserved every single one of those punches. Oh, it's actually just Cola Wooden Horse? Okay. But yeah, as you can see, I'm already losing like a lot of time. I nearly lost half a minute to Temperance here. But like I said, I was relatively upset, so I started mashing the button on his climax really fervently, because he deserved every bit of that punch. Also, this is Route 666, home of the biggest skip in the game. And what you want to do at the start here is just get Witch Time and kick those two big guys off. It'll just kill them automatically. And I did this a tad bit wrong, but I wasn't too upset. It went pretty well still. Now here, I kinda... Oh, yeah. The thing I should have done was just put the big yellow right over the magic flute. But all I do here is pop the big one, and then just dodge the punches they throw at me, because it allows for an easy door to kill. Like the double punch, double kick, with the charge modifiers on the kicks. Just takes them out real fast. Now, right after this cutscene is where the big skip is gonna happen. As soon as I land, I'm gonna use Magic Flute, and then I'm gonna run back in Panther mode. Which for some reason you can do because I do this. Like, I don't know the intricacies of this skip, but it works like this. Basically, as soon as the results score pop up, you want to run into the wall, so the game corrects you back to how you should be driving, not against traffic. And then the result screen, then the cutscene will play, which will result in this result screen again. And then you just get rid of these guys real quickly. Like, it's just your regular old Durga combo. Also, I believe that's the first time I've ever gotten a platinum ranking on that last verse. Usually this is all golds. Oh dear. So a little bit of time loss, like a second, whatevs. And over here, this is another stage where we get a weapon in, which is why I'm running this way, because a part of the LP is in this chest. And I ran away a tad bit too early, but it's all good. Also, one of the reasons why you see me jump a lot in Panther mode is because the jump gives you a slight speed boost. Then you use this skip to skip like the first fight below there, like near the statue. And you just go straight into this one. And all you gotta do for this is kill the guy with the key. And you're basically done with this. Now there's like a small skip here. Basically you do 2 ABKs and let the gravity do its work. And then here comes a bigger skip, where we ABK slightly out of bounds of the snake way, and just drop down all the way. So we don't have to run in circles on the entire snake way. Now you see the golem right there, you see him still rolling even though there's no road. Now, this next part, I kinda messed up on this next part. I'm not too happy about. Of course, like any time loss that I could have prevented, but still did. It's kinda upsetting. Like, thing I did here. What did I do here? Right, I dodged one. He attacked me, and I actually managed to dodge his move. But normally, I want to attack that guy's move so I can get witch time. So I lost about like 10 to 15 seconds on this part. Just not nice, but you know, it happens. And then this guy had the audacity to dodge as well, which is also something that happens from time to time. Usually you can just kill him with the Grace Claws, like the Claw Spin. But every so often he just jumps away from the attack and you have to chase him down. This fight went marvelously. Like, what you want to do is basically dodge the first barrage of missiles, and then dodge the second one as well for witch time and kill the first chip. And then you just want to land on the other one and do the same thing you did as with the first, but you don't actually need witch time. You hate those? Yeah, those boats are kinda dickish. They're not good. They're pretty awful. Also, doing the spin attack, the bullet climax with the claws on your legs, actually makes you fall down a lot faster. Like, your speed is just increased by so much. And it's a shame that I don't have another lollipop. Otherwise, I would just use it on this, on like the falling part right there. But the lollipop we do have left is saved for a bit later in the run. Also, I got kind of screwed over by the golem here, but then managed to make it back over there, like without getting hit. So that was a plus. And next up, we fight the golem. Like, what you basically want to do is, like, either deplete his health. You want to deplete his health bar either way. So like, there's not a big difference in that. But when his health bar is depleted, I usually like do a small countdown myself. 3, 2, 1, and then on the one, like unlike the 1 or on the 2. I already jump in the air and start my combo because a few seconds later he will start to reassemble himself. But he can only do that twice, because if you deplete his health bar 3 times, he just dies. And it is faster than doing the cutscene. Learning the astral chain controls didn't make me any worse at Bayonetta. Not really. Plus, I grinded Bayo a whole lot for this run to happen. But also, I kinda used one of the setups for Astral Chain that was more of the same for Bayonetta as well. So no, it didn't really dwindle my progress. This is just your basic joy fight. They attack you, you dodge, and you Durga combo them. Now here we fall down again, and I do the Durga twirl twice. I did not position myself entirely correct here, because normally I'm supposed to get like this particular gear as well, but I wasn't positioned just right, so I had to go over there manually, which lost me like, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds probably, but it was alright. And one of the reasons I use that flute is so there are a lot less affinities walking around. And as you hear that trumpet right now, the more affinities there are, the more chance there is one of them shoots at you while you're on the stripper pole. Which is a god-awful thing to happen. And is a 3-time loss. Also, again, this was probably one of the best verses I've ever had. Because your boy Temperance just comes over close and lets me wail on him. But yeah, this was probably the best pattern I could have ever gotten. Particularly against just regular virtues instead of the cardinal ones. The onyx roses are especially damaging to them. Now right here we got a stronger version of Grace and Glorious called Gracious and Glorious. They're much more damage resistant and do a lot more damage. But the combo I use basically doesn't really allow them to attack me much. Fire Durga's the Fire Durga is much better doing damage than the Kilgore. Like, it's faster. The damage it does is a lot greater. Like, only against bosses is the exploit actually decent. Like, the exploit is, or unless you're like score hunting and you wanna kinda cheap it out. But the Durga just kills stuff quickly, but you get like no combo score for it, and the Kilgore is a bit weaker, but you get a lot more combo points. Yeah, yeah, no, I am talking about the missiles. The missiles do less damage than the Kilgore, but you get better points. I mean, the missiles do less damage than the Durga, but you get more combo points for it. Also, I believe this Justitia fight was probably one of the best, again. Like, some of the fights went horribly wrong, but some of the boss fights also went fantastically right. Like, during this Justitia fight, he didn't do his rock breaker at any moment, so that saved me like already maybe 10 to 15 seconds, which is very nice. And then you see me jumping, you see me like swerving and jumping on the tentacles. Like, the swerving is so the camera won't screw me over. Because that kinda, if you just keep running on Justitia's tentacles, the camera often just, like, throws you off so much, it just goes all the way around. And sometimes it's even so bad that you, like, go back to where you came from. So I try to swerve a little bit to keep the camera steady. Yeah, like you see, no rock breaker, all good. Oh yeah. I fall intentionally into the poisonous water. I didn't do it exactly right that time, because I'm supposed to do it immediately, and I kind of got my patterns confused for a second. But yeah, if you fall in the water, you'll disrupt his pattern, because he's gonna destroy like 5 rocks. Like you see his tentacles, like. The camera angle will convey which rocks he's gonna destroy, and he's gonna start breaking rocks like a distance from you and come closer each and every time. And to interrupt that, I just fall into the water. cut tentacle looks so disgusting. Yeah, some of the things are pretty gross. Like the angels when they get rid of the body armor. Or of the flesh. Like right here, you saw the camera kinda fumbling around a little bit. Just a little, not a lot, but just a little bit. And this is basically where you're done with the fight, and you just gotta wait for the dude to head smash you. But he doesn't get to. The angels have ceramic, not ceramic skin, I don't know, but like their fleshy outside conceals the absolute horror that is inside. Right, next up is the Broken Sky, which is a relatively quick level with another pretty cool skip as well. And there are two versions of that skip, which I'll get which I will get into in a moment. Like the first thing I do in this chapter is there is a flute hidden inside this wall. There's a chest like right behind that one, which I need for a little bit later in this stage. And like I said, in the Lost Holy Grounds, if I had gotten 4 flutes during that angel attack, I wouldn't have to get this one. But it's all good. Now with these claws, I just kill these guys extremely fast. I used the shotguns on the last one, so he would die immediately and not just take his time dying, because I cut him apart. This is like the skip I was talking about. There's another way to do it, but it's way less run friendly. And you gotta like, there's a hook inside the plane which you gotta punch from the side, and then you gotta get lucky to be shot outside at Mach speed. And luckily, right over here, Jeanne gives me 2 chances with her Wicked Weaves. Like, you want to dodge her Wicked Weave and then punch her off the plane, which makes this fight just go by in less than 20 seconds or less, if you do it right. Also, I got the quick menu here, which made me a little bit jittery. And the quick menu happens usually after you do like that big fight skip. It doesn't always happen though, but when it does, it's sort of nice, I guess. Then all these enemies, again, basic Durga combo, and they die. Now this part is where I kept the flute for. Because you wait until you see like one of the halos pop up again, and then you use the flute from the menu, so you can kill all the harmonies at once. Still surprised that the entire plane's 3D model is loaded. Yeah, the plane's 3D model is always active for some reason. That's pretty cool. Also, like during the way I did that skip you saw earlier, if you go a little bit too far on like the wing I was on, the mono of the plane will still be there, but it will be invisible. Also, this boss fight. Casually, this is probably my favorite one. But there is so much chance... There's a chance that you can lose so much time on this. Because an extra dive takes... It's like an extra half a minute. Half a minute might be a bit too... half a minute is maybe a bit too much, you know what I'm saying, but you lose a lot of time for each dive. And preferably, you want him to dive only once. Because one dive is, he always does one dive at least. And that's the only dive you want him to do. Here we just gotta steer Sapientia into Phantas Marinae. That's pretty fun to see him get clocked in the face every time he tries to escape. Like, that's probably the best thing. I just like the animation a lot of him getting clocked in the face. I was getting a little antsy here because I only hit him once. Preferably you will hit him 3 times. Because this is the point, this is the one dive that he always does. We're just here chilling, and then we just give him the uppercut slash a lot again. And there are like the slam attack where he tries to flatten you on the water, and the bite attack are the only ones that will actually damage you if you were super close to him. Preferably, I would like him to do the bite attack because I can dodge that and just go ham on his face. But the swipe he does will never hit you if you're up close. So you can just be right next to his head, he will swipe, and nothing will happen. Also, this part is where you always want to do PKP. And you want to make sure you have either Onyx Roses or Scarborough Fair, plus a yellow lollipop, which you see me pop right now, because Dorga and Kilgore do not reach Sapientia at this range. Also, I kind of fumbled my combo there. As you can see, I did PPKK and not PKP. I mashed a little bit too hard at that moment. But even from that massive range, the PKP will still hit, both the kick and the punch. And because this guy kind of ruined the PB I got the day before, I just mashed really hard on that climax, dude. Because I disliked him a lot in this moment. But yeah, anyway, the next chapter is gonna be a massive auto-scroller, which is gonna take about 6 minutes, so I will take a small break to grab a drink. And I'll be back in like a minute, at most 2. Oh, but wait, you know what, before I go, right before this chapter, we're gonna enter the shop. Okay, I'll stay here till we actually enter the chapter. Because we gotta shop for a bit real quick. And usually I wouldn't like talk over this, but we get Celine's Light, which is absolutely crucial to some of the boss fights. And lollipops for the next, and red pops for the next chapter, because they do a tad bit more damage on the missile. And then a purple, and then a big purple for when I run out of magic for Celine's Light. But yeah, I'll be back in a bit. And I am back. Alright, looks like we're about 1.5 minutes in right now. Yeah. One thing about these enemies is their spawn pattern is always the same. And the faster you kill these enemies, the faster the verse actually goes. And I usually try to like figure out what is the best missile use and such, for like the optimum killing. And just to make it go faster. Also, one thing Platinum did on this particular, like when you actually fight the enemies on the missile, one dickish thing Platinum did is you have to torture attack the applaud for a broken witch heart. On both times, by the way. But you do 2 fights on the missile itself, and both of the applauds need to be killed with a torture attack for them to spawn on a broken witch heart. Which is probably the meanest witch heart you could ever do. Also, this is where I pop one of my first red lollipops, so I can just destroy Fortitude. And one thing to note is, like, you see all those structures, like those poles and like the, I mean, they're not here right now, but like sort of a water tower thingy in the water. If you destroy those also add to your combo score, and it gives you a free orb of magic when you destroy those. So if you're going for points, you should not neglect to shoot those things. I'm pretty sure even running into them will net you combo score and a magic orb. Also, each of those beloveds take about 15 shots when you're not powered up. Also, and to be honest, like, this is a mashing level as well, but because I can mash with both Y and X, and with my index and middle finger, it doesn't even hurt to do that much. So this is like the one stage where my arm or my hand isn't starting to cramp up when I'm looking at it. If I'm not mistaken, right after these is the part where 2 kinships will spawn. You can just easily dodge the kinships' lasers by just going to the top of the screens, and it just won't hit you. If you ever want to feel safe, just from those, just go to the top of the screen and you're gonna be alright. To be honest, like, even from a casual standpoint, this stage is already too long, but like from a design standpoint, I feel like this part drags like this end part just drags a little bit too much. Drags on a little bit too much. The flying section is way too long in general, but like the ending of this part just in particular. Also, this is where I pop another red one. Also, I did pop a red one for like the 3 inspired, the 3 dragons we fought earlier. And this is like where I pop my last red one. And I should have just kept shooting him with misses as well, because I have the thing. What's it called? The big purple lollipop. I just should have kept shooting him, because I'm gonna use it anyway during this next part. Also, this is where we equip, like, the Kilgore and the Celine's Light, because immediately after we get kicked, and there's only certain attacks that you can actually get a successful Witch Time off of to attack Jeanne with the Durga Kilgore exploit, because this is the one of the parts where we use it. Yeah. As soon as you get a good Witch Time off, you just exploit her to death. It does so much damage to her. Basically, a normal punch or a normal kick, or like the down kick you do with Bayonetta, where you just jump in midair and do the kick. Those are like 3 attacks that will give you a surefire, good Kilgore combo. And what you can also do is just normally dodge, which also does quite a bit of damage. And here, I could have just gotten hit by the regular slash, but I felt like dodging was the better thing to do. And over here, I keep baiting her into going into Panther form, because her regular slash she does on me. Oh yeah, this one I just didn't see coming. Like I said, her regular slash she does on me also gives me a very good Kilgore, also gives me a very good time for the Kilgore exploit. This was where I got a little bit impatient though. And luckily, that little health drop came in clutch. I don't think I needed it, but it came in pretty clutch. Because you never know when it might go very much awry. And this was, again, probably one of the better times I've ever done this in. No. It really wasn't. I think the best time I've ever done was 8 minutes. I think? Yeah. It's true. It was nearly the best time I've ever done, apparently. Yeah, this is the final stretch. This is the last normal level. Yeah, I was waiting for a slash from the dude so I could go for him to death. This was not my best ever verse. Also, if you touch the guy on fire, you get hurt. Naturally. But I should have just door got them. But for some reason, I really wanted that Kilgore. Also, I'm still in awe of how that missed. Alright, let me see. Also, if you hit one of these 2 statues, Gracious and Glorious pop out, so... you really don't want to do that. I think you can just run along and be fine. But I've never tested that, and I don't think I ever will. So we got some enchants popping up. It's been a while since we've last seen them, but... luckily we won't have to look at them for long. Again, this is also where you really want to kill Grace first, the red one, because you need his claws for an upcoming virtue. Also, I got an unlucky pattern with the affinities here. They were a tad bit too much spread out, but, you know, it happens. Next up, we're fighting Temperance. Like, you could see his fingers poking through the building. Like, if you go really fast, that happens. But we gotta use a cannon to shoot him down. Now, just mashing the button won't really work. Like, there is a sort of rhythm to it. Well, not a sort of, there is a rhythm to it. You can mash fast, but it's gotta have the right rhythm. And here, he tried to, like, I don't know what he tried to do. He tried to fire missiles, but he just gave me more time to do as much damage to him as possible. Right here, I don't know why, but the Xbox One controller didn't really read my input, so I got hit once by one of his missiles, but, you know, no biggie, it's fine. Like, at this point, right at this point, I don't really need magic. I believe in this stage, I don't really need magic at all, but I do want to make sure I'm full on magic when I get out of it, or at least have about 4 orbs of magic. And also, if you can get hit by that lift, by the way, if you don't do the QTE fast enough, but apparently it doesn't kill you. Weird, because a lot of things do kill Bayo. I believe I forgot which things, but some of the things where you're like, that should not kill Bayonetta if I miss that QTE. Apparently do, and then this one you get a flaming elevator falling on top of you, and it's just like, nah, dude, I'll live. Alright, oh yeah, right, so we killed him. This was the place where you want another lollipop, another small yellow, and the grace claws for. But sometimes he just is a dick. He's gonna say it. And when he Justice can slam his head on the ground, and you will lose your footing, and you will lose the like the charge you've just done with your grace claws, which you just really don't want, because then killing him takes a lot of time. And it's absolutely god-awful. Also, this fight went pretty well. Not perfectly. Like, it could have been slightly better. If I timed it right, it would have been so good, but, you know. Whatever happens, happens. Next up, it's Prudence. Like, you see him falling out of the sky. The basic the double punch, double kick Durga combo with kick modifiers does wonders on this guy. Like, as you can see, his health bar just gets erased, dude. And then here you can also see like the small speed boost you get from jumping in Panther, because if you normally run, the fire catches up to you a lot faster. Yeah, this was the start of this particular chapter was kinda iffy, I gotta say. Like, I did the first 2 battles not that great, but I believe the rest of the stage was actually pretty darn good. And right over there, I did 1 stiletto, because if I jumped in Panther again, I have to land. Like, when I hit the cutscene trigger, I have to land first before it ends. And the stiletto just slowly also moves me to the ground, so that was a better thing to do. Now next up is Bowler. This Bowler went pretty well, except for the first phase, where he just partially shat on me, and I just partially fumbled. Like, he didn't immediately hit me, which was not okay. Like, these 2 things were all his problem, but then this happened, and I panicked a little bit. Mostly because I can't really reach him from here. And this got me really upset. You're gonna have to go now? Alright, Samu. I'll see you next time. Also, again, because I got slightly upset with him, I just mashed my heart out against him. But then the rest of this fight was just fantastic. He gave me the pattern I wanted. Like here. Okay, he did one uppercut, but that was fine. And these particular attacks I dodged because I don't think I had enough magic for a good Celine. Yeah, like there's not too much more you can say about this battle. Also, like, one thing about the Celine, like, for this particular fight, though, is, like, it is technically faster, but the only move you can actually sort of successfully get Celine's light off of is the one of the basic combo, which you can already get witch time off of if you just dodge it correctly. But Celine's light just makes it a little bit faster. Like anything else, Baldur does basically screws you over and is unusable for Celine's light. Because it has because either he is too far away, or it has way too much knockback that you can't actually use the Celine's light properly on. Yeah. Baldur lost me about 27 seconds, just with that bad first phase. And then this is the final chapter, the epilogue. And even though I'm a minute ahead, like, the final boss of this game makes or breaks your run. Also, here I use a big yellow lollipop, which will last me the entirety of the motorcycle section. Or just barely the entirety of the motorcycle section. Like, I don't actually have to do anything here. I could just drive and nothing could hurt me, but I just want the kinship dead. Over here, one thing, I just keep holding forward, but you gotta make sure you drive as straight as possible, because if you're gonna make circles around the missile, I mean, it means you're not driving straight, and it's gonna take more time, and you don't want that. Like I said, you want to be sure you drive as straight as possible. And if lucky, it will even last through, the lollipop will even last through these 3 dragons, but I just dodge just to make absolutely sure I don't get hit. Because you're playing as Jeanne, and Jeanne takes 150% damage off of attacks. And that's a no-go. But you kind of want that health, still. Both as a buffer, and also because there are certain moves you actually want to get hit by on the final boss. Well, not certain. There is only one move you actually want to get hit by from the final boss, and which are frisbees. At least, they look like frisbees to me, sort of. Also, there is one secret Alfheim. Well, all the Alfheims are secrets, but they're hidden up here. There is one really dickishly hidden one. And that's when you gotta run up the titty and then go back. Also, Jubileus gave me the perfect first phase. Like, if she opens with this, man, consider yourself lucky. Because you can just waltz through her first phase all willy-nilly. As you can see, the uppercut slash from the sword just does immense damage. Also, one thing about this part, and I hate this with a passion, is you gotta make sure you don't hold any direction on your controller. Because if you do, there is a high possibility that the camera is just gonna screw you over big time, like it just did with me. Like normal, I was supposed to run towards the left face you saw during that cutscene, but because I held a direction on my controller, the camera fumbled and I didn't know where I needed to go. Like, and during this next phase, you'll see what I mean, where the camera will just be placed decently. She's gonna like put on the Ice Age, and you see the left face? That's where I need to go. But like I said, I held a direction on my controller, and the camera was all over the place. And during the wind section, I don't know what I keep doing wrong, but for some reason I keep missing one of her hair strands. I don't know how I managed to do it. And it happened in the PB I got the day before this one, and it happened again this time, but I have no idea how I fumbled that hard. Like, okay, and there's this, yep. Now I jump to the next one over. Takes a while for the rocks to get in good from. Oh, I missed that one! How did I miss that, though? Like, I literally don't know how I managed. And yeah, I got a little bit upset again because of this, just a little bit though, because I just couldn't believe I managed to do it twice in a row. Oh, so that caught me off guard as well. Normally this should just happen basically when you hit her with the backslash at the wind section, but alright, and this is where she gave me the frisbees. And that's a move where you just want to get hit by immediately, because as soon as you get hit or when you dodge for long enough, she will always follow up with these punches. And then here, she was super nice. Oh no, not super nice because she did this first. But she did again give me this one. Like, this is probably, if she gives you this always, it's probably the best pattern you're gonna get. It's at least the most secure pattern, because you know you will always end the phase when she does this. Like, the first phase you want her to punch you. I don't know what that was, but like I said, the first phase you want her to punch you. The second phase and the third phase, you prefer the head strands, the hair strands. But that's multiple. She has to do those multiple times. So you're like, you probably prefer safety over a chance for her to do anything else. And right here, I was like, you think the run is over at this point, but the run is never over until you hear the snapshot on the last verse. Like, the run really is never over, because we gotta punch her into the sun. And if she hits the planet, depending on where you are, you could lose up to a minute. So you really don't want to get her into a planet. You really need her. right into the sun. And after this, it's still not done. Like, there is still so much where you can lose time on. The game kinda sorta needs your undivided attention. Because, like, even here, I was like, run is still not over, I still gotta do it right. Because my god, if it goes wrong and I screw myself out of this world record, I'm gonna be so pissed. But yeah. Also, I don't know who's already heard this story, but on my very first playthrough, the one thing I thought I had to do, because this game is so extra, I knew I had to plant her into the sun. But like I said, this game is so extra. I thought I had to blast her through every single planet as well for maximum damage, but that was not the case, and I died. Also, this part, you can lose a little bit of time on this one, because Jeanne helps you with this, and I use the word help loosely, mostly because Jeanne kind of really doesn't help you with this. Like, she shoots some of the parts, and she might even break one or two, but, like, come on. Please go faster. And about this point is where you know you got I had the good run. Because it was about between 2.5 and 3 extra minutes. Like from when she says, "Let's dance, boys." And I knew it was gonna be a 141. And I knew it was gonna be a low one, but not exactly how much, but... Do I have any tech for these credits? Dude. I mean, the first and the second verses of the credits are just whatever. Like, just kill the enemy. Jeanne gave me some sass as well. Like, you can see it here. Jeanne was not having it. Jeanne was not having my world record, but she wasn't gonna take it. But yeah, like, the first and the second one don't really matter. The last one, however, I would use PKP on the small fries. And then when the beloved pops up, get close, and then do the 4 punches and into the kick. That seems to work the best for me. Like, and so the last verse of the credits should only take about 15 seconds from when you get control over Bayo to the snapshot. Should only take about 15 seconds. But I mean, I got the video up. We're gonna check it out. Like how long it took me. Oh yeah, this one also. I was just so happy I got the record. I didn't really care much for it anymore. Alright, but let's see. Like if the timer had been on 40 or 45 when I would have gotten control over Bayo, it would have maybe been a very high 140. But sadly, it was not. Okay, when do I get control over Bayo? Okay, 55. Okay, that was actually still pretty slow. So it takes about... It should take about at most 15 seconds. And I probably could have done it in 10 had I done it right. But yeah. As soon as I saw this time, I was like, yep, I'm done. Totally done. I can get back to Bayo 2 now. But I felt so good. I felt so heckin' good, dude. I was happy with this run. And 140 is getting ever closer.